Hey, welcome back to Hepa, the barbarian wood elf, who's trying to make his way through the world as the Falinesti wood elf Nerevarine, who will save the world. And so far, we've been working our way around Sedanine. We've done a few of the odd jobs that are presented in the town. As per normal, picked up a few items out of a shack. We've done some picking of plants and survived a couple of encounters. Although I'm left badly beaten up after dealing with a lady who had a stick and was pounding on me. Got a companion. I got Marianne here, who saved my hide from the lady who was beating me up with the stick. And now I think we've exhausted most of the easy stuff around Sedanine. I'm not going to go into the dungeon yet. MCA puts, that's Morrowind comes alive, of course, puts additional bandits into caves who can be quite tough, and I don't know if I'm ready to take those on quite yet. And there's one of Abbott's Silt Striders who's stuck on a boat. That's the boat to Halden Shore. It'll break itself free eventually, but obviously that boat needs to be moved, or the Strider path needs to be moved or something. And this is Morrowind Amalgamated, and it's a mod that attempts to bring everything together under just a handful of plugins. Make everything work in concert, make it much bigger, grander, richer experience. Hopefully more correct, although right now, as you can see, there are a number of bugs that still have to be ironed out. To make everything work in harmony is not an easy thing, depending on what you want to put into your gameplay. My aim here was to try to put everything, including the kitchen sink, into it. Now, that's not going to be possible. There are some things that are just too diverse in their objectives as mods, and also it's kind of hard to keep up with new developments. And as I pointed out before, you'll see that I'm not using, for example, Morrowind graphics and sound overhaul, which a lot of people are. However, it's still got quite a nice atmosphere. Owing to a lot of additional trees and bushes that have been put in by some mod. Can't remember which right now. But I have a number of gameplay modifiers, which is really my focus when I play a game. Is I want something that requires a lot of strategizing, and that's what you'll find here is a great deal of strategizing involved. And so you have to manage your time, you have to manage your, what your condition is like, and keep a lot of things in mind as you work your way through everyday activities. Right now we're working our way toward Balmora. I think I'd like to set up in Balmora. I usually do. It's a nice place to set up. And we're going to do a few things along the way. And first of all, I'm going to get into sneak mode, and I'm going to go into this tomb. Usually Is there a ghost hanging around there? There he is. I'm not really ready to deal with the ghost. I have no weapons or anything. But there's this body here, and I've actually gone to the extreme of putting a very handy potion down there, which I think is reasonable for new players to be able to pick up. So if you take the moment to investigate in this tomb, you'll have a nice little bonus. Potion of Fool's Luck, which will try to keep you from dying. Now, I'm not a fan of silly deaths. I'm just backtracking here. I just want to point out something. I see my shadow bonus, sneaking in a dark area. Also, advanced combat, lightly injured, and so it's affecting some of my abilities, my attributes, and then a couple of racial or birth sign additions. But yeah, nice sneak mod there, giving you a shadow bonus in dark places, but also penalizing you on if you're carrying a light, or if it's bright outside or something like that, or if you're near a light source. So that's a pretty cool feature. And the advanced combat is something you have to be aware of. You can get into a bad loop of where you get injured and it affects your attributes to the point where you get injured even more, which affects your attributes even more, and pretty soon your vicious cycle will kill you if you're not careful. But yeah, there might be a few little things like Potion of Fool's Luck lying around just to help you through, because I am a fan of Dead is Dead or Iron Man type of play. So that when your character dies, you have to start a new character. It's going to be very hard in a game like this to adhere to that. And I think in the end, I would like to put in an engine, something like Fliggerty developed, whereby you turn into a ghost or something when you die, and you have a chance to resurrect yourself with penalties, of course, so that you don't have to start a new character every time, because this gets to be pretty boring if you're starting the game over and over and over again, which is a high possibility because it's very easy to die in this game. So if you see a few little perks along the way, like a Potion of Fool's Luck lying around, that's the reasoning behind that, is to try and keep it down to a dull roar, the number of times that you're going to die if you're going to be playing a sort of a Dead style. Here we are approaching Pelagiad. Now, there was a mod here, a house mod. Who did that? Was that Princess Stomper? Or Karana? I can't remember. What was the name of the house now? I can't even remember that. And the thing looked a little bit too close to other house mods that I peppered the game with. You really don't need houses every step of the way around here, so I moved it way off to a distant area. However, I've kept I didn't bother moving all the plants that came with the house mod, so there's a lot of picking opportunities along here. I've just left the plants. It's quite pretty and everything, so I thought, Scadian Isles, lots of plant life, lovely, beautiful. And what the heck. So far I'm not having much luck picking anything. My herbalism skill is still too low. I'm not going to show you Morrowind crafting or crafting Amalgamated in action, because that would violate permissions, but I will show you that I have got a number of trees that are choppable, much in the same way that ore is mineable. Not all of them are, because some of them are from different mods, and I've yet to integrate everything and figure out how it's all going to change change over with the seasons, because seasons is another mod I have in here, an atmospheric mod which is supposed to cause trees to change color over the various seasons. Well, there you go. My herbalism skill actually did go up. I'm only at level 8, so I'm still not going to be able to pick much, but part of the strategy here is to, as I pointed out in the previous video, just pick everything in sight, and eventually you'll find your herbalism skill going up to where you can pick anything that you want at any time. That'll come later. There's a little hut. It's abandoned right now and it's locked, but it'll play into our questing a little bit later. Bacon House it's called. We'll be back to that. Now, one other strategy that we should point out, and I'll also point out these lovely children of Morrowind. What a wonderful mod as far as animations and voicing. A lot of wonderful work has gone into that, but yes, as for strategizing, the things that become evident over time, after going through this a few times, lead you to come to some, oh, there's somebody doing a jiggy dance. I don't know what that's all about. There's some crazy thing going on with a script. Some things become evident over time, and what I've discovered is that it's a good strategy to do all your gathering skills immediately while you're level 1, because once you go up in levels, you're going to have to start concentrating on killing creatures and so forth when you're out in the wilderness. So I'm doing all my picking now, trying to get as good at picking as I possibly can, and I'll be doing some chopping and some mining as well while I'm at a low level and not having to worry about killing things. Now, as you saw off in the distance, there was a guar walking along. That's part of the Traveling Merchants mod. And the cat there is taking his guar. They're heading off to Satanin. And that's a nice atmospheric mod with a few little nice quests thrown in. And you can really get a nice flavor added to the game with that mod, with merchants that are traveling along the road. You watch them go off into the distance. It's quite fun. I'm just going to try to drown down some of this music. I'm sure it's overpowering my voice, probably to some degree. Off in the distance, we also have a scrib fight going on. And this is from Real Wildlife, which is another mod that's been included in part of the MWAM lesser plugin. And the scribs fight it out. One scrib kills another, and then that scrib turns on me, but I can't see where he went. He was chasing me down the road probably, and I've lost sight of him. Quite often I'll just bring him into Pelagia and let a guard chop its head off. Here's another traveling merchant from Starfire's NPCs. Don't need them right now. I've tweaked them so they have a great deal more gold, because my one of my aims in merchandising is that I like to get rid of stuff out of the world for whatever reason. So I'll sell knickknacks to those traveling merchants, and they'll disappear with the knickknacks once they vacate the spot. And things that I sell locally will be things that I suspect I might want later. Things that I can't use right now but will buy back later when I have the money. Or things that I suspect might be useful in a quest, more unique type items. There's a nice little straw stack. I think it's part of the wilderness mod. Come on, where's that pitchfork? Alright. I don't know why I got a pitchfork, but again, it might come in handy for something. I know some of these tools do. Okay. Bypassing Pelagiad for now, not much in there that I want right now, because as I pointed out before, I'm not going to be stealing from the locals to the degree that I can help it. At least not initially. I'm going to try to conquer this game on my own metal, as if I was, in the real world, where thieving is frowned upon and you don't always get a lot of free advice, as in training and stuff, so. Doing it the hard way. Big challenge. So yeah, I can roam fairly freely in the backwaters here, off the beaten path. Early on in the game without too much worry of critters attacking me. And so you start off nice and slow, and you kind of get yourself established to begin with, and then you can start going and messing around in caves and whatnot. Therein lies part of the strategy. I'm kind of over here for a reason, because I know even at this low level there will be some creatures that can be pretty darn nasty, and some of them include the packed Nyx hounds that I think Giants has put into the mod mix. So I will avoid that little thing. That looks like something from MCA. There's looks like a wilderness patrol of Redoran guards, or Walu guards probably. Here's a leftover from Necessities of Morrowind #2. Speaking of which, I wonder how my food is. It's still pretty good. I don't think I have any money anyway. Not much. A lot of conflicts still to be dealt with, like these stools and the tree are conflicting. But this is still a fairly playable prototype if you ignore such little anomalies. Here's an example of some of the things that can be chopped later on, which I will do in secret. Let's go up this road a little way back. You see, I'm not doing much questing yet. That'll be a little while in coming. I've got to get myself set up first. And that's why I don't like to start over new characters a lot, because a lot of the front end of this game is just getting set up, and it takes an awful long time. Then you turn around, you're dead, and you got to start all over again. That drives you crazy. So nobody has that much time in their lives to be doing this over and over and over again. I don't think. Not if you want to get far along in the game and come to the ultimate conclusion, which is to save the world. As it is right now, the world doesn't look too bad. It's not very nasty. It starts out nice and quiet. By and large, you might find the odd bug coming after you, or lady with a stick. But right now everybody's being very gentle, allowing me to go around and do my picking. Blah blah blah. Now I haven't explored things like alternate beginnings. As a mod, I haven't really even looked at more immersive care gen. So it's a pretty standard start. But that's also in keeping with lore, I feel, so I don't feel too badly that I don't have the opportunity to start in Dagon Fell or anything like that. So it's just a fairly standard beginning with a lot of additional sidebars. Start off in Sedanin, make my way toward Balmora and or Vivek, two big cities where you can sort of establish yourself. And try to make a life for yourself as you try to get stronger and start taking on the baddies gradually. Here we come. This is a place by Korana, I believe. Rose Cottage. Lovely trees dropping. This is the first time I saw trees dropping their stuff. And then Princess Stomper started incorporating trees that drop their leaves. And Leowin, which we'll see later on. Some more nice plants along here. And after all the work I've done, I think it's time to give it a save. Now, one of the aims of this project, the Amalgamated project, is to make this game happier and more stable, and by and large it's actually not too bad. I'm surprised with all the work that has yet to be done to it. Crashes are relatively few, and despite the size of it too, you know, crashes they do occur. Make no mistake, this is Morrowind, but I can usually play for hours before I have to reload due to a crash. I don't know about the basket, but they're going to let me pick plants around here, so I'm going to work on my herbalism skill, and as you saw, it just went up another level. So we are making progress. It's very slow progress, but it will happen. You just have to exercise patience. Look at all those leaves dropping around. Wow. A couple of nice boats. Here's a boat with a script on it. It's like bobbing in the water. I think that's so cool. A few of the boats around here do that. This guy will actually take you places. You can travel with him, but I'm not sure I want to have him travel to the degree that he does. We'll see. It's all part of balance. I'll have to figure out the balance of how easy it is to get around, how
What can I help you with?
whoops. And adjust my travel destinations accordingly. I've done a lot of that already, adjusting travel destinations, owing to the fact that I've got all these additional land masses thrown in here. So to get from here to there and various places around, it's meant trying to figure out travel patterns. That's always a big exercise in logistics. These bunnies are kind of neat. I've modified so they don't run away. That was bothering me quite a bit. They were set up so that they would get scared and dash off as you approached them, which is realistic, but the combat music would come in and it just drove me crazy. I didn't know if I was being chased by a blighted cliff racer or if a bunny was running away from me, so I did away with that, and they just sit there on the hill and look at you instead. And they're kind of nice to see up close anyway. Nice little animations with them. Well, we're getting close. We're back into the Foyata here. Getting up close to Moon Moth. Most of our picking is now done along the path that led us to Balmora. First order business is going to be to find a home. That's going to be easier said than done. I usually go to you-know-where, for those of you who set up camp in Balmora. And I'm going to have to break in, which could be difficult in broad daylight. I'd like to wait till midnight, but I don't know if I want to take that much time letting time pass. One thing you could know about the crafting mod is that time does pass for most activities, so that's part of the strategy, is to figure out time management so that you know that if you're going shopping during the day, that it's going to be nighttime. Sooner than it would be otherwise. Or if you're going to build something, it'll take a while to do that. Time will pass. I had other time passing features, such as passing time while reading in here. They don't work all that well in their current form. I've been experimenting with other forms of them, so to what degree they're in, I don't know. I think there is some, but it could be sort of hit and miss in that regard. There's another companion, a crusader type of person. So on our way by here, I thought I'd just stop and check, see if I can join. Nope. See if I can join any cults. Now in the vanilla game, you can join just about anything at any time. Oh, ding dong, LCV, Living Cities of Ardenville. There's another mod in here, and it just kicked in, and somebody zapped into place in front of our eyes. But it's in the roleplay plugin based on somebody else's work, it's considerably more difficult to join guilds. In fact, I think I've played a character or two where I couldn't join any guilds for a long time until my skills and attributes went up. Usually you can join at least a couple. I should be able to join the Fighters Guild without too much trouble based on my character and class, my race and class. But we'll see when we get to Balmora. We'll give it a shot. I certainly will not be able to join anything magic related, like the Mages Guild. Possibly nothing thief related, but we'll see about that too. But being that I'm a barbarian, I think I will be able to join the Fighters Guild. Here we come, we're approaching the big city. You'll notice some splits in the land. Again, part of the amalgamation process, which has made some glitches along the way, and the seams were fixed at one time, but then I started playing around with crafting Amalgamated plugin, which I run following the main plugin, and that modifies plants and so forth around the land, and so therefore in heavily land modified areas you get things like floating plants up there or split land down there, but we'll just ignore that for now. As things come more and more together, that'll be fixable in the future. Now, a number of expandeds have been added, particularly to the main plugin. This is one of them. This is Balmora Expanded, and I've done heavy tweaking of these expandeds. For one thing, Balmora Expanded is based heavily on Silgrad Tower, and so I did a lot of like cell name changes and so forth, so that it doesn't look like a total rip-off of Silgrad Tower. And I've had to move and shift things around as... Oh. Actually never noticed that split before. That's why those plants are floating. So, there'll be some noticeable differences between my setup here and the original mod, but by and large, things are fairly recognizable from original expandeds. The expandeds includes things like Balmora here, Mournhold is a big one, Vivec is another big one. I put some nice happy little lights here, give it a little bit more festive look. And I'd like to dress it up a little bit more too. A couple of tapestries here and there, but by and large it's not too bad. This Guar Trader, she used to be down below, but it conflicted with the Clothier mod, so I had to move her up top somewhere, so I put her there. Carnithus Armamentarium is in here as well, and it is accessed via this place. It used to be in its original form in Mournhold, but that conflicts with Necessities of Morrowind, a couple of food dealers there. So the powers that be that created Balmora Expanded thought Carnithus Armamentarium would look good in Balmora, and it works fairly well. Go into the sewer area, and as such in Balmora Expanded, here we are in sort of a slummy area of town. junk lying all over the ground. Statue is kind of half buried, crooked. And a bunch of questionable people of questionable repute live here, including this one guy who's hooked on moon sugar. We have to go and see. His name is Kais Casades, I think is how you pronounce it. But who knows? And we have a nice little piece of information for him, a little package that he's going to look at. He's going to say, So, you've been sent to me by the Emperor. Well, we'll see where that leads us all. So, there we go. Main quest is now underway. Now, Caius has been modified a little bit in his dialogue. He's going to talk to us a little bit more about what else we can do to start things off as far as quests that have been added to his roster of quests that we have to follow. But at this point in the game, main quest might be a little more out of our reach. So we're going to start with something that he suggests in terms of freelance work. And he says, I have a couple of diplomatic missions you might want to try on. One is to Tarmar and one is to Fort Klamath. Tarmar is the name of a mod created by somebody, I can't remember who. Lady E or no, Raven. I can't remember. Sorry, ma'am. I've forgotten all that. And Fort Klamath is part of Greebrash Island, which is part of the tribute to the community business. Now he's just explained to us, pick up these supplies from the sack and you'll find a key to shack in Sedanine. That'll start us off in the Tarmar mod. And he also explains to us that you can go over to Greebrash Island and see what's happening there in terms of trade disputes. But the hard part is going to be getting there, because it involves going to Mournhold. And we have no easy way of getting to Mournhold yet. As many of you know, we're going to get attacked at some point when we sleep. But there is built into this amalgamation another way to get to Mournhold, and we'll take advantage of that to get us going if we need it, so that we can do those diplomatic missions. We'll see those in short order here. Right now I'm just picking up a little bit of the junk, grab a $1 here, $1 there, and I'm staying away from the containers because they're probably owned by Lalu guards. If I pick one open, take the contents out, I will probably get killed by a guard, or at the very least sent to jail. Now there's a mushroom over here. I'm going to test it out, hopefully. Well, I don't know, it might not be. Oh, it is Amanita, so it should be part of my expansion of advanced herbalism. We'll see if it's pickable. Yes, great. There's a couple of shelf fungus here. Okay. Well, there we go. Here we are. We've reported to Caius. We've got a couple of quests set up as possibilities, and we're making our way toward a place where we can stay now. As you can see, I've modified Balmora. Along the promenade here, I put walls. They need end caps, so ignore the fact that you can see through the walls on the sides here. And I put nice little fences along the walkways, the bridgeways. This is to try to keep people from falling into the water quite as often as they do. I think it's met with some success. Kind of looks cool anyway. And I've doubled the size of this bridge here so that there's less bumping of people. That's where most of the traffic occurs. So far so good. Haven't been attacked by anybody yet, and we got pretty free reign to walk through town here and take a look around, see what's kicking. Lots of people around. It's still fairly busy. I don't know if I want to attempt any break-ins, which I'm going to have to do if I want a nice place to stay. There is a mod, I think, a nice place to stay, but I don't want to make it too easy to get into places right at this particular point in time. Uh-oh. Okay, me and my big mouth. Here we go. We are under attack, and I haven't got any kind of... Oh, he's another stick guy. Okay, but he's going to get murdered by a guard and by Marianne. So here you can see a guard is actually helping me out this time, so that's kind of nice. Guards won't tolerate any tomfoolery, whether it's creatures or thugs. So I got away with that one. I didn't really have to work at it. Somebody else did the work for me, so that's kind of nice. And I get a little bit of a perk out of it because I get to sell his clothing now. Okay. Get rid of the stuff that I really don't want to keep. To this merchant. It'll disappear eventually. Oh, look at that. I've got 88 gold. And I really should put on these pants, I think. Look the part. See if anyone really pays attention to me when I'm all dressed up. Oh, I'm going to get rid of petty soul gems. I really don't want those. A couple things I'm role-playing here. I'm going to sell all my beakers and bottles to people. The bottles are useful, the beakers not so much, but at some point in the future I might want to try incorporating beakers into alchemy somehow. I don't know. It's difficult. I know other people have probably tried such a thing without success, owing to the alchemy engine. However, since I'm using advanced alchemy as a way to do alchemy, I figure, what the heck. I'll put them aside and we'll see if anything comes of it. So that was my first local sale. I went to Drelassa and sold her beaker. I'm going to go in here and sell a couple of items, one or two items. I got an extra ladle. That'll be part of a cooking process later on, and the pitchfork. Don't know if I can ever use that, but I'll keep it local just in case. Oh yeah, I've got those advertisements. Excess number, I'll sell all but one. I don't think they're useful for anything, but I don't want to get rid of them all just in case. And all the stuff that I sold to her will disappear when she disappears out of the world at the end of the day. And likewise fashion, I'll keep local and sell some items to her, like, whoops, better read it just to make sure because I got more than one. Blank parchment could come in handy. Oh, the mining guide, right. I'm going to sell her, oh, the waste wedding dowry, I haven't sold that yet. Okay, and journal Teriel. Okay, well there you go, more money, yahoo. than I expected. What am I doing? Ah, yes. Oh, yes. Morrowind code patch. Some things do not give you money. So I'm going to have to go through. I don't like zero valued items. I think everything is worth something. Just about. But not necessarily. But I like those things to be few and far between that aren't worth anything. Uh-oh. We also have another little bit of business here, which is a bee, which has poisoned me. Alright. Thank you, Marianne. That's why I have a companion. Because I would have a difficult time trying to deal with it, I'm sure. She dealt with it. Allowed me to live another day while I work on getting set up. And you can see why I've kept the engraved ring of healing at this point. Mining guide for 1 whole gold. 'Cause I don't want to be without a way of healing. Fairly easily. Also, I want to train my enchant skill. So I keep a little enchant trinket, or 2, or 3, or 10, or 20 for that purpose. This guy being a barbarian and very low in magic skills, that's the only way I'm going to be able to train magic really to begin with, is using enchantments. So I'll rely heavily on enchantments with this character. So we had a Starfire's traveling merchant show up down there, so that's good. We'll take advantage of that. Now, I said I'm not going to rip off the ordinary citizenry, but I don't feel any remorse about taking stuff out of guard towers. So I'm allowing myself that much. Things that are a little more in the public domain, I might help myself to, but yeah, the private citizenry, I think I'll try not to make them too sad by removing all their goodies out of their homes. I'm going to be benevolent that way. Okay, Marianne is stuck. That's alright. We'll just shut that. Keep the guard out of view. Help myself to a few ingredients and help time to pass along as I wait to have darkness fall and make it a little easier to break into a house. As a matter of fact, I shouldn't need Marianne right now, so what I think I will do is take her upstairs and let her relax a bit. I'm still in sneak mode. I'm just practicing my sneaking. I'm getting out of it because I'm going to go outside and we're going to go down to see if that guar trader is still here. And make a couple more bucks. Selling stuff that I took out of the guard tower. Have to be very careful not to not sell something that I want to keep. I'll keep Zerioni's sermons because I know that's going to be useful to me in the future. Common shoes, expensive amulets, expensive shirt. Those can all go. Yeah, look at that. Another 164 bucks there. Oh, plus a couple of pots there. Got an extra spoon here. I'll sell that to Claudius in case I lose one. And that's for crafting Amalgamated, part of the cooking equipment that you can use. Oh, there's another trader here. I wonder if she has anything really hot. Let's check her wares. Nope. Nothing I can use right now. Okay, where are we at? So I got bottles, I got ingredients, got 1 or 2 quest items, and some things that need fixing. Now I believe in fixing everything before you attempt to sell it to a merchant, so not only am I going to have to find a place to store them, but I'm going to have to be a repairer before, or spend money to get them fixed before I can sell them. He's a traveling merchant. He does not work very well for some reason. Now what are you? Are you you're a beggar. Okay, good. This is a bit of a test here. You spare 5 drakes to buy an old man a meal. Okay, sure, here you go. 5 gold has been removed. Ooh, it might be working. It's part of Belmora Expanded, or one of the maybe even Princess Stomper did this. I'm not sure. There's a statue of Azura here. Necessity Morrowind, nice fountain provided by that mod. Okay, we're waiting for darkness to fall a little more, streets to vacate a little bit so I can break in and hopefully not commit a crime, but we'll see how it goes. Meantime, I hope I won't need Marianne de Caster. So I'm going to get her to just hang out here. And give myself a little more free reign to explore without worrying about her tagging along. Okay, nothing much here, and that guard is patrolling around, so it's going to be a little difficult to steal anything out of here. I think I'm going to save here. WS stands for whole shebang. Without Marianne, I can run along, practice my athletics. I can jump, practice my acrobatics. I'm going to go back to this guard tower, see if I can do anything on the other side of this door. Whoops. Okay, get stealthy. Steal. First thing you want to do is take the light because of the lighting mod, or the sneak mod that relies on lighting as an enhancement or detraction from your ability to sneak. And I got as much off of that shelf as I could possibly get at this point in time without that guard seeing me, so we'll stop there. And we'll come back for the claymore later. Right now I'm just trying to get stuff off to this. Merchant before she disappears. Looks like she's going to disappear before too long. It's that time of day. And they will vacate. When the working day is over. And hopefully they'll take their carts and stuff with them. But as you can see, oddly enough, the guar has disappeared there, and the merchant remains. But over here, the merchant has disappeared, and the cart remains. The scripts need a lot of work. Arf, arf. Now, I should be able to interact with this dog. Let's see if I touch him. Pet the dog. Feeds the dog some meat. I don't have any meat that he can eat. Boy, look at that. Obviously, my script is wrong, because I do have rat meat. That's going to have to be fixed. Oh, shoot. I'm going the wrong way. I want to go up to this guard tower here. And I think I better make a note of that, too. Let's see if there's anything I can take. There's a guard standing there, so I get sneaky, go behind the post, see if I can reach anything. Nope. I don't know, it's too risky. I think I'll go for the stuff in the closet at least. That's pretty easy. Okay. Practice my sneaking. Now, there's some skills as part of the strategy of this gameplay. There's some mods that, or some skills that you can practice that are a little safer than others. Sneaking being one of them. Jumping. Smithing, like repairing armor. Speechcraft. And I'm talking about ordinary game skills, not the crafting skills, which is a whole other whack of training in itself. Cooking, smithing, chopping. Sewing, pottery, like handcrafting, the list goes on and on and on. Woodworking. Okay. Okay, here we go. We're going to try our first hand at joining a guild that I think we'll be successful at. Let's see. Join the Fighters Guild. Ah, no! I can't. Dang. Just for a laugh, I'm going to go next door. I would be really floored if I could join these guys. But no, not her. If I talk to the guild guide in Caldera, and I'm going to make it so that I talk to all the guild guides, they'll be able to tell me about some interesting way of traveling in Caldera Mages Guild to get to another locale. We'll discover that later. Okay, this is a prototype, and as such it's going to be full of glitches, as I said in my previous video, and as I keep reminding you as I go along. Dog does not recognize rat meat, possibly others. So I'm going to make some notes as I go along about things that need to be addressed as I discover them. That's a minor sort of thing. There's no real earth-shattering consequence that comes out of the fact that the dog doesn't eat meat that I'm carrying. Now you notice that a message popped up saying that I'm exhausted. Stamina is going down. Part of the falling down mod. That's part of the roleplay plugin. I shouldn't be playing with that in town here because it sounds like somebody is trying to attack me. So I'm going to get into a safe place if I can find such a thing. Wait till I catch my breath. But as you can see, the attributes are affected. Owing to the fact that my stamina is low. And if my stamina goes low enough, I will actually collapse onto the ground. Both necessities of Morrowind and the falling down mod contribute to that. And so I have to watch at keeping my stamina up. And especially now since I've got somebody chasing me around out there. Some thug or something. I'm gonna have to be on my toes. Sorry about that. I'm getting over a sickness which I incurred over Christmas, and the doctor tells me it might be whooping cough, of all things. I think that was the dude over there, quite possibly. They sometimes tend to go docile after you go in and back out of a interior or change cells. That kind of drives me nuts, but they'll attack eventually. It's just a matter of getting them into the right matter of timing or something. I don't know. Okay, what am I doing? Another guard tower. Let's go look for another guard tower. There should be one over here. basically I'm just passing time until it gets a little easier to break into the house. And because of the strategy mods that are built into this, I have to be mindful of things like, well, when am I going to be sleeping, and how's it going to affect my attributes and skills and so forth. If I'm tired, do I really want to travel at night when it's more dangerous, and all these kinds of things have to be considered. And nothing much comes out of that. Oh, my first stockage drop. Oh, good, I made it. Some of these short characters, they get a little squat and wide, and it is hard for them to get through confined entrances. Now, I've been experimenting around with that, and I think I've come up with the maximum reduction in size that you can get away with before they start getting unplayable. Something like scale of 0.88 or something. Versus the normal size of 1.0 on your races. Here's something I added. That's something I'm experimenting with. It looks pretty good. I'd like these to be clear color, I think. They're quite obviously a door. And one of them is locked, actually. Because they're doors, they can be lockable. They flip up like that. Oops, except that guard is in the way. And I'll probably make more extensive use of that kind of device to keep tools from being so easily, tools and weapons from being so easily ripped off. So you'll have to practice your lockpicking skills. Oh, dag nabbit, eh? I got too much stuff. And I'm going to make it the cuirass rather than a whole bunch of other stuff to reduce my chances of getting noticed if this guard should happen to walk somewhere upstairs. Which would be nice, so that I could close this door over the weapons that's sitting on their head. Ugh, that looks silly. Practice my jumping as I go down the stairs. Whee! Oh! And you see I've gotten exhausted and it's affecting my attributes, so therefore I'm halted dead in my tracks because I'm tired. Too tired to move. Too mildly fatigued. Over encumbered. So I stop moving and gain my breath back again. So there you go. That's a big part of the strategizing, is taking into account the fact that you're going to get over encumbered if you get too exhausted. Your strength is going to go down. Temperature mod means that you're going to be burdened or your stamina is going to go down depending on the time of day. If it's a hot time of day, you're going to get more fatigued. So far, I don't think I'm being chased by any thugs. Actively, anyway. Although the combat music is still present, indicating that they are ready to beat on me. Yeah, I better get over here in a hurry. It's getting late enough in the day. These guys might disappear very quickly. And they will vanish before your very eyes. So I want to make sure I get to her before she does vanish. Get rid of all the useless junk. Not sure about that. And I'll probably hang on to that. At least I'll give it to Meldor anyway. Buy it back later? I don't know. Hard to say. Now might be a good time to check my skills and remind myself of what armor I do want to keep that I might find. I think he's pretty good in medium armor, but let's just see. Light armor is good, and medium armor is good. Not so good on the heavy armor. Let's see. I know of for a fact where I'm going to get a nice piece of medium armor, or two. And I think I'm going to give myself sort of a potpourri of armor. I train all armor skills at once. And owing to the other pieces that I'm going to be using, I guess I won't bother with the medium armor. That I just acquired there. I'll use some other instead. We'll be able to find that fairly quickly. I think I'm going to go get it right now, in fact. In case I start getting wailed on by that thug or whatever is over there. I should probably have some kind of protection on me. I've got an amalgamation of music too. Some of the things you might recognize as themes from various mods. Other music has been provided by some great musicians who have created suites specifically for Morrowind. And then I think there's a couple other things tossed in there as well that I've found over time. Let's go up this way at this time, just for a little variety. So whacking your head with the door. That I'm going to wear temporarily. Because I don't feel very comfortable being naked. My unarmored skill is, I think, not that good. Ooh, there's a bad spot. You could fall down there and get stuck if you weren't careful. I'm a pretty good jumper. Okay, well I ripped off the guard towers pretty much as I can. One other thing I'm going to rip off over here is just too good to bypass. Come on, come on. One of those little goodies that you discover over time. Here. I'll be back into this place before long. I've got other things I can do. There, I actually just broke a toenail jumping off of that. Practice my acrobatics again by jumping off of there. And I'll do it again by jumping off of here. This is a big jump. I'll twist my ankle doing this one. Whee! Alright. I'm all helmeted up. That was one of the medium pieces that I was talking about. I would like to hang on to it. It's a very nice piece of armor. Bit of a gimme in the game that could be easily be taken out of the game if you think it's a cheat. But I need all the help I can get. Talk to this guy in a while. Making my way over here toward the Guar traders. And again, trying to take advantage of them before they disappear. Which should be any time now, owing to the darkness of the sky. I'm thinking it's getting on to be that hour. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the broom and the bucket and the old hat. I think that's it. Okay. I think we're done doing all the looting I'm going to do. And visiting the places that I immediately want to visit. So maybe I'll take a little time and I'll start in on speechcraft. I had a character, they were an orc Their speechcraft was low and their personality was low, but man, could I ever sweet talk people. She had a real easy time of getting her speechcraft skill up. I don't know how that worked. Well, whoever's down there is still down there. I may have to get Marianne in on this. In fact, I think I will. Again, the path grids have to be fixed once I get everything sort of all bundled together into a couple of super mods. So as you can see, it used to be nicely arranged, but now with crafting amalgamated mod tacked onto the back, the path grids are now back to being a sort of jumbled up mess. And people keep walking into that statue. Okay, who's down here? Who's giving me consternation? This guy sucks at speaking to people. Or let's say he's more normal, shall we say. Is it you? No, I don't think so. The Starfire's thugs are pretty... Oh, it's you. I was going to say the Starfire thugs are pretty good at attacking, staying attacking. The MCA ones sometimes take a bit of a holiday. He's dead. Marianne is doing a really good job on him. He's just cast Ancestor Guardian, as Dwemer often do, so Dunmer often do. So I'll just sit here and take it. I was blocking, but now he's wrecked my shield. I can't equip it anymore. And being that he's got Ancestor Guardian, he's got High Sanctuary, so nobody's going to be able to hit him right now, so I might as well just sit here. And once his spell wears off, Marianne will be hitting him again with the axe, and he'll flee or die. I haven't even got any good spells other than... Oh yes, I must sell those. Other than Soothing Touch. That will help me in this kind of a situation. So just have to take it. So far so good. I'm not being overly fatigued. So I don't think I'll be falling on the ground anytime soon. Come on, Marianne. Start hitting them now. There we go. Okay, now I could actually use missile weapons if he gets out at a range. He's trying to run into the water, you see, and he can't get past the wall. Ha 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 ha. And Marianne took care of him. Thank you, ma'am. That's why I have a companion. I'm going to run up here because I forgot about these scrolls. There's something I'm probably going to want to use later, but I can't use them right now. They will kill me. So I'll sell them locally. Those are Teriel scrolls of Vicarian flight. Right now, the money is more useful to me than the scrolls, so I'll do that. Okay. Make it to the merchant. Can we make it to the merchant in time? I will give you common clothing. There we go. And keeping all the rest, I think. Okay. Might as well put my armor back on now. Well, I got enough money. I should really go and get some stuff now. That's going to be useful. While I'm waiting for time to pass. Come on, Marianne, let's run up here. 4 stores all close. Well, the hospital will never close. Regular merchants will close. Hospital will be open at all times. Although this guy might disappear at night, I don't know yet. But in the meantime, he can sell me some good stuff. Cure common disease, a couple of those. Cure poison, a couple of those. All very useful. Also, apprentices, alchemy equipment. I got a retort, alembic, calcinator, and mortar and pestle, the whole set. Oh, that's handy. Okay, other strategizing that's involved. See, I would have been in deep doo-doo. Well, not deep doo-doo. I wouldn't have been able to carry everything. Would have had to sell something back. Because I'm over encumbered. But because I have my companion along, she can carry some of the thing. One of the things that I buy. So I am saved that way. I'm having a hard time believing that I have apprentices, and apprentices. Oh yeah, so there you go. Good time to save. I feel a lot better now that I have potions. Still warm out, it says. A bonus to sneak. Now I'm playing the regional mana mod as well as part of my roleplay. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Living cities of Vardenfell kicked in. Necessities of Morrowind kicked in. There's some nice little bugs around these lights. Aren't they nice? Wilderness mod, I think. I tweaked them a bit so they're a little bit bigger and brighter. They may show up at odd times of day though. Which kind of drives me, but well. What was it saying? Something about well, I don't remember now.
May I help you?
So I have a sneak bonus if the weather keeps holding up. Let's see. Oh yes, I'm playing regional mana. And so you can see that certain effects appear. Depending on where in the world I am. So here I am in West Gash, and as such I have a weakness to magicka of 20%, but I also have a bonus to my maximum magicka. In other places you'll hear other effects kick in. Mostly you'll hear them or see them, but I did it! I didn't get observed. I got away with it. So this is my new home. Now, gaming styles vary and differ from player to player. My style is that I sort of set up a central headquarters and do all my operating from there. And this is going to be my central headquarters, at least for the time being. And as time goes on, I'll build it up, and I'll be adding supplies and equipment and all that sort of stuff. And bear with me, I have ways that I sort my ingredients according to what they do, at least what they presently do. I'll probably be making adjustments to their effects over the course of time, but for the time being, this is how they're going to go. got my garlic. For some reason this alchemy equipment looks larger than usual. Anywho, it's there. Ooh. Poor Raylan Lalo. He's actually going to be my holder for quest items. I'll leave that in there. Okay, so what else? That. Oh yeah, that one. Oh, one of them is okay. That one, this one, advertisement. I think is another Ultralasses, and this one is the Belmore newspaper page. You know what? Actually, I might keep that. See if it has any. Relevant info that will actually apply somewhere. Okay, so I think that's it. I'm just going to put a few things aside here. The advertisement. These things, and when another appropriate trader comes along, I will sell to them some of these things. But for now, I just put them in storage. Oh, we're already wearing extravagant pants, so don't need that. Don't need that. Don't bother with that. I will sell that. And let's see what else. I've already got extravagant shoes and extravagant shoes, and I will wear the shirt for the time being, and that ring too can go. And this should go on me. We're almost there. I'm going to keep the Flynn, I'm going to keep the Lucky Star. I've got 2 potions of Fool's Luck. Ooh. Hallelujah. And, oh, the straw can go. Actually, I'm going to put that upstairs. Straw will be needed to light fires. Which I won't be doing for a while. So I can just put it there. I'll put my garlic away too. And then I got some stuff that needs fixing before I can sell it or use it. So I'll put that aside as well until I get some hammers. Oh yeah, I'm blind to the fact I've got an anvil in here. That's not really supposed to be there yet. That's just a convenient place for it. as a test item. Ultimately, I will actually buy an anvil, and I will simulate that it's going there. And there is a reason to have an anvil, as we will discover later on. And that's a good place to stop.